Hello, Jim Hickey with websitepresence.org coming back to you with a second video in the kind of extending my initial keyword research demystified book and video series by looking at how to use Google Suggest as both a way to do some discovery of keywords and then use words that you discover through this process in order to quickly bring into the steps that I teach you about in keyword research demystified, using that whole process to quickly evaluate whether they're worth anything or not. So what are we going to be looking at here in this video? Well, we're going to be specifically covering a live demonstration of Google Suggest. In the previous video to this that I released a few days ago, we went through describing exactly what Google Suggest was and some of the results it gives you in static pages. I'm actually going to show you something that's more closely aligned with live, although because I'm doing things via Camtasia, recording things at the same time, I actually have things set up ahead of time. I'll be honest with you, I've already gone and done some research, checked out various words, found one keyword that I wanted to concentrate on, and I kind of had things set up so I can just quickly go through things and show you how it works and not let this drag on. All right, but you're going to go through the steps of what the live demo would be like, and some of it will actually be the live demo. Next, basically, we're going to see how to use this as a keyword discovery tool, okay, and get some ideas of, starting with your seed keyword, how we can grow that into many more keywords just by using Google and then the search engine and its query box and the suggest feature that it has associated with it. How to specifically get a whole bunch of words, over 200, by using your main keyword with letters A through Z in this Google query box, the search engine box. Then I'm going to pick one keyword out of that box from the stuff that I've done earlier, and then pull that into the process that I actually do a more formal evaluation to see what the search volume is like, and we'll give you some things to think about as you're doing that. The initial competition, number of competing pages that have those words on the page, that phrase on the page, the number of competing pages that have it in the title, and then we'll actually go at it and look at some more detailed competition analysis using another tool I talked about in that last ebook and video series, Traffic Travis, the free version of that. Okay, so I'm going to, one thing I want to mention quickly. If you're not familiar with the terms I'm using in the ebook that I'm going to be discussing, or at least as I go through the latter part of this video that I'm going to be referring to, some of the parameters that I talk about, discuss, and define in that book, in that video series, I'd recommend or suggest that maybe you want to consider going to www.websitepresence.org/KWRD and pick yourself up a copy of the ebook and get access to the video series. Okay, anyways, let's move right along. I'm going to put you on hold for a minute while I switch gears and switch over to the Google. Okay, so we're back. Yay. And as you can see, the Google search engine is open, and I've already started to type in a word, losing. Okay, maybe I'm losing my mind. Sometimes I think I am when I'm doing these screencast recording, because there's always this lag between what goes on the screen and what you're typing. So anyways, as you can see, I've started to type in a phrase, losing. And actually, as it turns out, losing weight is what I had in mind, something I should probably be doing more actively. But as I'm typing, as you can see, as I typed and I added the word weight to my query, you can see that now Google is thinking ahead and saying, hey, there's a bunch of people that have been searching various terms that are associated with losing weight. These are longer tail keyword phrases, like losing weight fast, losing weight tips while pregnant, after 40, etc. So it's trying to tell you that these are phrases that people commonly search, and is that really what you're looking for? Now, if it was, I could just, go down the list and click one and go right to that page to see what information I'm searching for potentially. Okay, but if I keep going, for instance, and type fast, it's going to give me a whole nother list of suggestions of things that are associated with now building on that keyword phrase. So we got losing weight fast, fast and easy, fast tips, fast and healthy, etc. Right? So pretty cool that it does that. Now think about how many new keywords you're actually generating as you're doing this. We do the same thing with tips. Whoops. And I don't connect the words. Okay, there we go. So we have another, there's another, 10 keywords that are being added, or 9 keywords that are being added on, that it's adding on relative to that losing weight tips word, right? Now, the other thing I told you I was going to show you how to do is, you can do this systematically. And so we have losing weight, and we're back to that first list of suggestions. But now if I just type the first letter of the alphabet, it gives me things relative to things that are being searched commonly that start with the letter A. And if I go back and I replace that with a B, it will give me the list of suggestions for the words that start with the letter B. And C, and D. Okay? So you can go through every letter in the alphabet and get 9 or 10 additional keyword phrases building on your initial seed keyword. How quickly can you build a list? Now, what's real, of course, this would take some time, obviously, and you'd have to somehow copy these things out, right? Well, there are tools out there that will do this for you automatically, and I'll introduce you to a couple of those tools in the next video that will follow this video here in several days, a few days, a couple of days. And more importantly, I'm actually going to provide you free a copy of one of the programs you can use to automate this process and have it go through and do this for you and complete a list and put it out into a notepad file, a text file, so you can access it and scan it and do other things with it. So pretty cool tool. Okay, so the Google Suggest tool has a lot of cool benefits for discovering new keywords, right? So let's go back to B. And there's one word here, one phrase here that really caught my eye when I was first going through this process. It's losing weight by running. Okay, so that's what I'm going to key on. That would be a word I'd want to take forward and actually look at doing more research on to seeing what the competition is like. Is this worth it? Is there enough search volume? What is the competition, on the first pages of Google? Might be one of the things I'm thinking about where I want to try to get traffic from. So it's going to be important to do that. Or just in general, what competition is out there, and however I'm going to promote it, how much resistance am I going to get? What's it going to take to get my message out there, right? So I can get people to notice my message and so forth and so on. So I'm going to take losing weight by running. Remember that. We're going to switch over from the Google search engine into the Google keyword tool. And like I said, I did some of this ahead of time in order to expedite this whole process. Again, this process specifically from this point on is basically gone through in detail in the Keywords Demystified Keyword Research Demystified second edition ebook in the video series I talked about a little bit earlier. Okay, I've already gone into Google. I've entered the keyword. I've done my search. I've made a little changes to the columns here. When Google first does this, it opens it up in broad match search, which means those words could be anywhere within the search query, the search phrase that people are typing. I want it to be exactly what they're searching, because that's going to tell me the most relevant searches. Okay, and if you go into, first of all, if you've already had access to my book and you've read it, you know that the numbers I'm looking for here are really 1,000 or more. So the first reaction might be, well, this is what globally 480. That's about half of what I really want. Locally, only 260. Losing weight for English-speaking people is an issue everywhere, so global could be good in this one instance. But this is a discovery mode, so the fact that I get something that's still halfway there caused me to go through and start to scan through the rest of this list. And as I did this, there's a whole bunch of related keywords that looked promising. Okay, so I'd actually probably, if I was serious about doing this, I'd actually go in and start pulling these various terms into the next phases of the analysis, the competition analysis, to see if there's enough keywords, or there's another keyword that might be really good, or more so, because this is usually the way I approach things, I actually look for several keywords, 5 at least, maybe 10, 15, that I can build a whole series of content, maybe a website around, with each one of them. If each one of them have the potential to deliver traffic based on this overall search volume, you could still get a decent amount of search if you're thinking about trying to get it from the search engines, or, that there are people looking for it, so, however you're going to promote it might be a good way to go. Okay, the question is, how much competition is there? Okay, so the initial stage of competition, well, then we take the phrase, losing weight by running, we go back to the Google search engine, and we're going to set it up to do a query on it, except for we're going to put that term in quotes, which means now I want to know where this term appears in with those words in the exact order on pages that are ranked in Google. How many competing pages are there? Okay, and we see that it's 35,300. In the other ebook series and other video series that I have been talking about, the number here that I look for, if it's 30,000 or less, I get all excited. If it's under 100,000 at this stage, I'd definitely be still evaluating things. This is just over the 30, so I still wanted to carry this forward. The next step is to see how many times, or how many pages, that are ranked in Google or have that phrase in that exact order within the title. And so to do that, what you do is you add the all in title operator like this before the word in quotes. And here we want something to be under 10,000. We don't want there to be any more than 10,000 pages that are competing with us. Well, this is well under that. So when I saw this, I started to think, hey, this could be really cool. I mean, this might be something, if I was serious about getting into this niche, I'd go back and start looking at more of those words. And if I could find a whole bunch of words that seemed to be like this, that would cause me to start wanting to go deeper and do some serious research into this and see if I wanted to go in that direction. So maybe you're getting some ideas here if you've ever thought about the weight loss niche. It's a very competitive niche, but if you can find the right avenue and right way to promote it, you can still do quite well with it, because it's something that is a very sought for niche as well. Okay, so after we go through that first preliminary level of competition, the number of times that keyword phrase exists on pages, the number of times in the title, we then want to go look at some other things that are associated with it, some other ranking factors. Okay, and one of the things I always do personally, to be honest, is I'm always thinking, if I'm going to develop a site, although I may not want to rely on it solely, I'd like to do the best job I can of picking some keywords that, in time, stand a chance of getting ranked in the major search engines and deliver some traffic to me. I mean, why not? I mean, it's stupid not to do that. Then when I'm out doing other forms of promotion, I'm getting more traffic. I mean, it all comes together. So anyways, so that's kind of the philosophy. But this is a tool called Traffic Travis. There's a professional model which costs, I think it's $150 or something. Don't advocate getting that. This is the free version. I've gone into the SEO analysis module. I've entered my keyword phrase to analyze, doing the search in the United States, top 10 results. It goes in and pulls in the top 10 listings for Google as of tonight. This is when I did it. The things I'm really going to look at are the average value of the page rank for the top 10 sites. I want to be under 3. This is under 2, so that's good. The backlinks to the page, I want this number to be under 300 across all sites. It's well under it in most cases. If I was really going to get serious and go whole hog into this thing, and this was one of my main keywords, I'd also want to start looking at the strength of those links, but we don't have to worry about that at this stage. This looks good. Great page rank, relatively low backlinks, a couple of high ones, but most of them are pretty low. No government or EDU links. A couple of sites are in DMOZ and Yahoo. I don't really, it's something to make note of, but I don't really pay a lot of attention to it. The next things I want to really pay attention to are the title, description, and H1 tags. These are what are referred to, you might hear people talk about on-page SEO. And if you see green check marks here, it means those pages are optimized for that. These are all red X's. I mean, I'd get truly excited about this. So, here's a way that you can use the Google Suggest tool to, one, develop hosts, many more keywords to go in and evaluate, build content on, do your niche evaluation, whatever the case may be. And even in the process, as you're checking things out, to do a preliminary evaluation on search volume, initial competition, and even a little more detailed competition using Traffic Travis, you can get to this real quickly. All based on words I found, a word I found in the Google Suggest tool. So it's a pretty neat way for doing keyword discovery and then taking those keywords forward with a more formal analysis. Okay, I hope you found this useful in conjunction with the first video that kind of talked about what Google Suggest was all about and gave you the first introduction to it. In the next video, like I said, which will be the last video of this series, it will specifically go into back dealing specifically with the Google Suggest function, a couple of different tools that are out there to help you harvest that information, those additional keywords, more quickly, compile those into lists so you can work with them more quickly and move forward. Okay, so I'll look forward to getting that to you soon, and I hope you enjoyed this and found it useful. Have a great night.